Alrighty, well, what do you need to know for tomorrow for the test?
That stuff.
Here we
Oh my
go.
God, it's test tomorrow. It could be on a print. We are so scary.
Who's this we?
Like half the people install
Well, we have to get like a computer where we go and like.
What are you?
So, you need to know the three types of graphs. True. And what are they? They are linear, quadratic, and inverse. You should have an idea of sort of what shape they are.
Yeah, wait, what?
We did all this. It's all in your notes.
We did it.
Linear, quadratic, inverse.
Oh, it's the opposite of
Yeah. Number two, you should know, and these aren't really in any sort of, that's weird, I don't know what order I did this in. Looks like I pulled it off an old test.
So like three different ways, like the 300.
The three conventions for showing vector direction. So, Zane, you realize I'm telling you what's on the test tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is right now? Okay, good. So something like 30 degrees south of east, or east 30 south, or
It's all the same stuff.
bracket 120, bearing 120 would all be the same. Right? The three methods of... Yeah, that's what's called the bearing.
So like, we're figuring out
Yeah.
degrees.
That would be like east 30 south, yeah? Yep. You should be able to use a graph. In other words, I might give you a graph and say, you know, like how much weight does 200 milliliters of this substance weigh? Use a graph. You should know the terms models, laws, and theories and be able to explain them with examples.
It's just a theory.
Come over there. Okay. You should be able to create a graph both on Excel and on paper, including the trend lines.
Oh, trend lines on paper is going to be hard.
You should be able to explain the law of parsimony. Remember the story about the smart horse that could do math?
Yeah.
That really was just smart and could read body language? The law of parsimony says that when faced with two equal explanations, you should pick the one that simpler or has less assumptions, less complicated, simpler.
So is that explain the law of proximity, or is that using law of proximity? Which one would be correct? What's the question?
It could be both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should be able to apply it. That's a really good question. They also call this, and I don't use this term, but this one is known as Occam's razor. Remember we talked about that? And not the razor, the kind that Cole uses to shave. Remember that day that I was making fun of him? Remember I was saying how my wits were so sharp that he could shave them? Yeah. Sorry, Cole. Know the terms vectors and scalars and know the difference between them. Vectors have a direction, scalars do not. You know, they have no direction in life. I'll just leave the joke part for you guys. Draw a scale drawing of a vector. You need to be able to do that. Are you gonna? How many kids are going to try to add a single vector? At least 2 or 3. I'm like, what are you doing? It just says draw a scale drawing, and they try to add them together. I'm like, there's only one thing. It's like saying add 4.
Wait,
yeah, they think, well, I don't get it. What do I add it to? People try, I'll say, draw a scale drawing of this vector, and they want to add it.
That's where you set like your reference line and then.
Yeah, just draw the scale drawing.
Yeah.
Single vector. Add vectors by Pythagoras and by scale drawing, and you need to recognize which one should be done when. When do you do by Pythagoras? Right triangle. If it's not a right triangle, you got to do it by ruler or protractor. And if you do it by Pythagoras and it's not a right triangle, you get
a
frowny face. Subtract vectors by Pythagoras and scale drawing as well. And yes, Dawson has pointed out, you get a cheat sheet. So you get a single sheet of paper. Here's an example. Single sheet of paper, fold it in half. You can cut it if you want. Half sheet of paper. Put anything you want on there.
Right on. You just put this whole review on there. You get right with all the answers there if you want to. If you knew the question.
You knew the question, yeah.
You knew the question. Well, I mean.
Okay, so I'm giving you this period. I would strongly suggest you get that vector golf thing done. I will mark it tonight. If you come first thing in the morning, I can give it back to you. Okay? If you don't get her done today, you're gonna have to do the alternate one, start all over again. Because once I start marking, right, then, like, I can't hand out answers for someone else. Okay, so you do have this period to go through that. I'm available for help. Oh, I got a little clicker quiz on subtraction. Do you want to do it, or should we just get right into it?
I like clickers.
You know what, I'll do it at the end. I'll do it at the end. Okay.